there is a good chance that if you're watching this, you have a pantry in your kitchen. There's also an equally good chance that your pantry is a nightmare to deal with. And the reason is your pantry is likely outfitted with deep shelves. It's also likely that there's stuff in the back of your pantry that you don't even know exists and that you've completely forgotten about. Humans like paths of least resistance, and pantries offer a lot of resistance. Having deep shelves that you have to contort and bend and reach to get the stuff that you want, it's almost like we'll say, I'd rather just drive to the grocery store and buy it off a shelf that I can just do that and get it. We are just creatures of habit. We want things easy, we want things conveniently, and so if the stuff in your pantry isn't in this zone right here that's easily reachable, we oftentimes forget about it. But that's where today's video comes in to help you out. There is a very simple way to add convenience to your pantry, and you guessed it, it is the pullout. Just a simple wooden box on some rails makes a ton of difference for your kitchen pantry experience. I'm gonna show you where to get these, how to install them, and my super tip for convenience in your pantry. The first thing you're gonna wanna do is just take a few simple measurements. The width, the height, and the depth of your pantry. Once you have these measurements, now you have something that you can work with to order your new pullouts. The key is order your boxes an inch smaller than the width of your opening. You need clearance to pass your hinges, you need clearance to pass the open doors. The type of rail system that you're going to install will also indicate what size your box should be. So, for instance, these rails, which I'll link to in the description below, are made by Blum. And there is a 5/8 difference between the size of the box and the space between where the rails are mounted. So at the very least, the box size needs to be at least 5/8 smaller than the opening. But I always recommend to go a little bit bigger to allow yourself some clearance. What I've done in my pantry is I've installed these spacers because my boxes are actually 2.5 inches smaller. The reason mine are 2.5 inches smaller is because as a 20-year design professional, I measured them incorrectly. And so what I got were smaller boxes when I actually needed, but I already paid for them and I said, well, I'm just gonna install them anyway. It didn't really matter. I used these spacers to attach to the side so that my rails had something to mount on and my boxes are still able to be completely functional. Okay, so what's the super tip I'm talking about? The super tip is this. My pantry came with shelves and probably so does yours. There's already shelves installed. And you'll notice that all my shelves are still completely intact. I didn't take them out. What many people will do is they'll take their shelves out and then measure everything and attach their rails to the gables of their pantry, which is normal, but the super tip is this. Leave your shelves in place. They're already mounted underneath by shelf pins, they're secure, and they're designed to hold the weight of all your food anyway. So leave them in place. They're not taking up that much room. Then you have something you can mount your rails directly onto. This comes in really handy if you're not a carpenter or if you're not used to doing this kind of work all the time. It saves a ton of time and it saves a ton of frustration. Believe me, I know that it's frustrating to try to measure everything, keep everything level, because once you install everything, the drawer rail has to run smoothly in and out. And there's nothing worse than when you have your drawer rail installed, you have everything set, and it's just off slight and it's all sticky and it doesn't move. This way, everything's level. It's easy to install the drawer rails. You just sit them on top of the shelf that's already there. You screw them into place and voila, you're done. What makes this even greater of a super tip is this. Let's say that after using your pantry for a little while, that you wish that you had have installed the pullouts at different heights. Well, it's not that hard to change now because you can just simply move your shelves, take your shelves out because they're removable, move them to where you want them. The mounting hardware is already mounted on the shelves. You move them to where you want, you have new heights for your pullouts. I recommend ordering the boxes as deep as you can. My pantry is a 27-inch deep pantry. Normally a pantry is 24 inches. So if you don't specify that you have a deep pantry or whatever the depth of your pantry is, the boxes that you order may be the wrong size. You want to take up as much space as possible. Again, because I'm such a professional, I didn't order them correctly, but that's on me. Don't make the same mistake. Make sure you double check all your measurements and order things correctly so that you have the most optimized storage for your pantry. My suggestion is to go to your local cabinet shop and have them make for you drawer boxes just like this. They're dovetail maple drawer boxes. The reason being is you're not going to find the size you need on an online store unless of course they're making them specifically for you. Now my suggestion for rails is you go with the Blum hardware. These rails are Blum. They're a full extension tandem undermount drawer glide. They each hold a 100-pound test, so I could literally sit on this drawer and it won't budge. There are other options out there you can source around if you're trying to find a good price. I have a link below for these particular rails, but your local cabinet supplier may also be able to provide these for you as one convenient kit that you can purchase and install. Again, the installation is not difficult, even for someone like myself who is not a carpenter. I'm not trained. I'm just a regular Joe handyman around the house who can do just, the odd stuff, but, I struggle with precision. If you struggle with precision as well, this is the way to go. They're very easy to install with my super tip. These drawer rails make it really simple to take your drawer boxes out and to put them back in. There's just a simple clip mechanism underneath. Just clips off and lifts right out, just like that. And underneath you have these locking cams that basically screw on with a couple screws and away you go. So even to do this on your own at home is very, very easy. These just mount directly into the corner of the box, and the drawer rails, like I mentioned, just right on the shelf. Very simple to use, easy for anyone just to operate. To put them in is just as simple. You don't even need to bring the drawer rails out. All you have to do is slide your box in on the drawer rail until it clicks, and away you go. So very easy to operate. Anyone can do it, even if you're not very handy, even like me, who after years of doing this still makes mistakes in measuring, still gets frustrated when you're trying to do stuff around your house because you want it to be done right. But this makes it very easy, and I highly recommend to go with this kind of system. So I hope you're inspired to take the plunge to revamp your pantry system to make it as optimal and functional as you can. And at the very least, I suggest that for the bottom of your pantry, you install 2 pullouts. 2 pullouts that will save your back, save you from being on your hands and knees, digging through, trying to reach what's in the back of that pantry, and really saving you money because stuff's going missing. You don't realize you're buying it over and over again. This is a higher priced upgrade for a kitchen, but it's very, very well worth the money that you invest to put into your cabinets. If you've liked this video, chances are you'll like these other 2 videos that I made. You can go ahead and check those out if you wish. If you're still watching this, thank you so much. You are a superstar. Until next time. Precision.